Hello and welcome to the Independence Day celebration edition of Business Live. Coming up in this bulletin, President Mahama pledges to ensure fiscal discipline and drive production through the 24-hour economy initiative and other indigenous policies to enable the country achieve economic dependence as Ghana celebrates 68th Independence Day.
As President, I'm committed to providing the bold leadership and the clarity of vision that is needed to navigate the turbulent economic waters we are sailing in currently, while safeguarding our future.
Also in this bulletin, economist Dr. Ismail Yamson cites lack of patriotism and corruption as reasons for failure to achieve real economic freedom despite 68 years of political independence.
How can a country in 68 years go to the IMF to be rescued 17 times?
Government announces plans to revive Komenda sugar factory as it makes significant progress on securing a strategic investor.
Now we've also started procuring a strategic investor because the best thing that can happen to Komenda is to bring a strategic investor who will not, as I indicated earlier, do only value addition but extension.
We've got details of this and more for you. Please stay. Thanks so much for choosing us. I am Pius Kojobaka, and looking at our stories. President Mahama has highlighted the need to support key government initiatives like the Big Push agenda to boost agricultural production, improve food security, and enhance the livelihoods of farmers. Speaking at the 68th Independence Day celebration at the Jubilee House, President Mahama said he is focused on leveraging resources, expertise, and technology to increase agricultural productivity, to improve market accessibility, and enhance the overall competitiveness of Ghana's agricultural sector.
Agriculture remains our biggest opportunity to reduce import dependence. With over $2 billion spent annually on food imports, the Agriculture for Economic Transformation agenda is structured to strengthen local agribusiness and ensure food security. The Feed Ghana program will drive mass food production and stabilize food prices. At the same time, the Poultry Farm to Table initiative, otherwise referred to as Nkukong Kitenkite program, will boost domestic poultry production and processing to directly address our 95% reliance on imported poultry products. The success of these policies depend on active citizen participation, particularly from our young people. The AgriNext program will equip 30,000 young people with land, training, and agribusiness opportunities. Farmer service centers in every district will provide access to mechanization services, quality seeds, and fertilizer to boost local food production. My brothers and sisters, this is a defining moment, but policies alone, no matter how well couched and no matter how well-intentioned, will not change our reality. Action will change that reality.
Well, President Mahama also says he will steer the country out of the current dire economic situation. According to him, he will ensure fiscal discipline and drive production through the 24-hour economy initiative and other indigenous policies to enable the country to achieve economic dependence.
President, I'm committed to providing the bold leadership and the clarity of vision that is needed to navigate the turbulent economic waters we are sailing in currently, while safeguarding our future. Discussions about our independence often highlight our reliance on imports, on donor aid, and IMF bailouts as signs of continued dependence. This reminder is repeated so often that while undeniably real, it risks becoming a cliché. Yet the entire efficacy of this reminder lies not in just repeating it, but in our willingness to take decisive action. Actions that will break the chain of dependency, not just the empty rhetoric of an Africa that is beyond aid. Proclaiming self-reliance while marching straight back to the donors into the hands of the donor agencies, begging bowl in hand, is really meaningless. To break this cycle of dependence and reset our economy, my administration is formulating policies based on fiscal discipline and living within our means. We're striving to expand our economy to yield prosperity for all. And to do this, we must look within and make sure that we are raising revenue domestically. This administration is working to implement the 24-hour economy program to ensure that our economy never goes to sleep. This will allow us to create the necessary job expansion, boost productivity, increase our exports capacity and trade footprint, and also reduce our dependence on foreign aid. The US $10 billion Big Push initiative will also modernize our infrastructure. It will create jobs, it will stimulate local industry, ensuring that our development is driven from within rather than funded from outside.
Economist Dr. Ishmael Yamson has maintained that the country has failed to achieve economic freedom despite 68 years of independence because of corruption and lack of patriotism. Speaking on PM Express Business Edition, which airs tonight at 9 p.m., Dr. Yamson, however, maintains that there is still a way out of this challenge.
How can a country in 68 years go to the IMF to be rescued 17 times? And let us pray that we don't go for 18 times.
There are some who have argued that there is a possibility.
Well, I like the British say, the situation is difficult, but it's not hopeless. I think I still have hope that if we take through the reset agenda, as we have all, diagnosed and made proposals, we shouldn't go for the 18th time.
I'll come back to your recommendations and how we can tie in this program. But for you, do you think that the governance system or the structure has been been a problem in transitioning from what Nkrumah left and sustaining that economic vibrancy to now? Because there are some who are saying that we've lost out in terms of real economic independence and financial independence, and still our economy is actually open to price volatility, and anytime there's a blip with any of the commodities, we see the city and all the rest. How do we get around that challenge in terms of having that impactful economic and financial freedom to make it relevant when we celebrate today as 68 years of independence from our colonial masters?
Two things, George. The first one is love for country. Love
patriotism.
For country. Patriotism. And one thing that sets Nkrumah's government apart from all other governments is that Nkrumah was passionate about building a strong Ghana, respected Ghana, a sovereign state that is able to manage its own affairs. And he was very passionate about it, right? And there are people, those who have argued that, Nkrumah was able to do that because he was a dictator. But if that dictatorship builds countries, then under Rawlings we should have been, a first-class economy. Because you ruled for 11 years as a military ruler and another 8 years as a pseudo-civilian. So 19 years. Yeah. So it's not about dictatorship.
You can catch the full interview at 9 p.m. on the Joy News channel, PM Express Business Edition it is. Now, away from that, government has announced that it has made significant progress towards reviving the Komenda sugar factory. The Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry to this end has secured the services of a transactional advisor to aid this process. The move is part of plans to reduce the country's import bill and create more jobs for Ghanaians. Elizabeth Ofuswejare is the Minister of Trade, Agribusiness and Industry.
Now we've also started procuring a strategic investor, because the best thing that can happen to Komenda is to bring a strategic investor who will not, as I indicated earlier, do only value addition but extension, so that we can get sugar and get ethanol. If it happens like that, there will be more jobs and jobs and jobs for the people of Komenda and its environment, and to also reduce our sugar import. Sugar import is very high, and once Komenda comes on stream, I'm sure that it will reduce our import of sugar drastically.
But are there any clear timelines for this strategic partnership thing, that by the end of this year or by the beginning of next year, some certain things should be in place?
I always talk about expeditious timeline. Under 2 months, I've gone to see the place. I've done my stakeholder consultation with them. I'm procuring a transactional advisor. I'm not resting until it comes on stream, and I am not leaving no stone unturned to ensure that it happens. I can't give date 1 day, 2, because you see, you are looking for a strategic investor, and so you don't have control over when you get a strategic investor who actually develop, who will deliver, who will be able to do your specification. Because as I indicated, I'm not only interested in somebody who come and do sugar. Value extension, value addition, the key. And so I will do my bit. Government will do its part to ensuring that we follow all the laid down procedures. You know, procurement issues in Ghana has been fraught with challenges. We want to make sure that everything is done transparency according to the law. So if it says advertisement for 21 days, exactly 21 days we'll do. So we want to follow all the due processes to ensure that we get somebody who is up to the task. And I can assure you that there is no delay in this matter. Very, very expeditious.
Renowned business executive Dr. Kofi Kodu-Asapong has cautioned government not to relent in implementing some of the key recommendations at the just-ended National Economic Dialogue. He explains that if the government fails to address some of these challenges, this will discourage future engagements on the state of the economy. He spoke to Joy Business.
It is the groups. There were 6 groups. They all made recommendations. We didn't come here on partisan basis. We came, for me, for example, I'm a senior citizen. I came to assist. I came to share my thoughts. It's up to government to use the recommendations. Government says, come and tell us what is wrong, come and tell us what you think we should be doing. We have given them our ideas. Whether they use them or not, it's up to them. Certainly, I don't think they wanted us to come and waste 2 days here. All these many people, some of us in retirement, calling us to come and spend 2 days, 2 long days of working. We make recommendations, we've debated them, you've issued a communique. If you say you won't use them, maybe next time when you call us, we won't be available to come. There are obviously, it's not everything they can do. It's not everything which may be feasible, but obviously there are some of them, recommendations which can be taken on board.
Which areas do you think should be a priority?
I cannot tell, I can speak for my group. My group, we dealt with ECG, that is power. We dealt with Cocoa Board. We made some recommendations. Cocoa Board, for example, we think they should focus on buying their cocoa and exporting the cocoa. Other non-core business like going into road construction, maybe excessively importing inputs.
Meanwhile, former Trade Minister Dr. Ekospio Gabra called for a collaborative effort to tackle these challenges.
Commitment from the government or the party is the commitment that all Ghanaians need to have. It's a call for action on the part of the 30+ million human beings. Because if only the, let's say, 500 or the 1,000 who came here in the last 2 days are very committed and are very serious, but the 20-30 million out there don't understand what happened here. And so they also cannot come along with us. There will be a big gap between the leadership and the followership. And some of us are trained in communication. So our job will be to help in the communication of the message so that more Ghanaians will understand it in various languages, from Twi, Dagbani, Zima, Ewe, and all that. And then they become more committed to the solutions that President Mahama and the NDC government are bringing. So it's a long project, a long process. It's not an overnight exercise, but we've started and we are praying with your help as the media that the message gets out and gets out with a lot of excitement because Ghana has been in very difficult times. I mean, people who saved their money and were given haircuts and had to withdraw, they lost their money, and even whatever they got was 30% or 50% of the money until President Mahama just came and released about 6 billion recently, which I hope has been paid to some people. I mean, we've been through very difficult times. Galamsey, there's still Galamsey. I mean, people are still digging the dirty earth and throwing earth into our river bodies. But all that is going to stop. And there are efforts to stop it in many regions of the country. And your company, Joy FM, has been in the leadership of helping to fight Galamsey. There are many problems, deforestation, etc., which has affected the cocoa industry. Did you see the cocoa industry debts? Did you ever hear under the MPP that cocoa industry was failing to the extent of 2-point-something billion every year?
So watching the holiday edition of Business Life, we are back with more. Hello, welcome back to Business Live. The Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in collaboration with the Presbyterian University of Ghana, has organized a training program for entrepreneurs and cooperatives in Bolgatanga in the Upper East region. The training, which was conducted under the Green Growth Ghana project, focused on building participants' capacity in financial literacy, access to markets, business planning, and sustainable practices. Albert Sori reports.
The Green Growth Ghana project aims to promote a green and circular economy that will drive growth, reduce poverty, and foster social inclusion. The project is being implemented by the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry in collaboration with the Presbyterian University of Ghana with funding from the European Union. The training program for entrepreneurs in the Upper East region was a follow-up to a previous training session in Tamale organized under the Green Growth Project. It aimed to broaden the mindset, skills, and knowledge of entrepreneurs in the region by building their capacity in financial literacy, access to markets, business planning, and sustainable practices. Michael Kabute Caesar is the treasurer for the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
We are also helping them to understand the concept of the circular economy to ensure that in their business processes, they are able to reuse, refit, or recycle the materials they use. And knowledge in grey economy helps businesses, cooperatives, working within such an environment to ensure that they do not degrade the environment, because you need the environment to survive. And so a good knowledge of it would help you to balance your work processes vis-a-vis not degrading the environment to ensure that there's life sustainability.
The Presbyterian University of Ghana partners the National Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the implementation of the Green Growth Ghana project. A lecturer at the university, Reverend Dr. Christina Amache, said the partnership was part of the university's mandate to do community service. She highlighted the importance of the training to the selected participants.
And we are encouraging them to join cooperatives because there's a lot they could get to help themselves. We also talk about business incubator programs. We talk about leadership, their personal leadership and how they will lead their businesses.
Guinness Ghana is considering strong partnerships with local brands and small businesses to support in promoting the local economy. The move is part of the company's relaunch of the Guinness Smooth, one of the flagship alcoholic beverage brands of the company. Marketing manager for Guinness Ghana, Sabina Menu, explains to Joy Business at a media soiree to reintroduce Guinness Smooth into the Ghanaian market. Here's a report.
Guinness Ghana Breweries is bringing back the Guinness Smooth with a refreshing taste for consumers to appreciate the renewed spirit of the brand in Ghana. The lighter beer from the Guinness brand has been reinvented to represent the African brand. According to marketing manager Sabina Menu, the move to host the media and reintroduce the Guinness Smooth is influenced by the company's resolve to support local brands and grow the local economy. She has been speaking with Joy Business.
And we're looking to do even more work with some local partners, local creators. You would see across Africa, Guinness Smooth has been reinvented and relaunched. And they're partnering with very interesting local brands, local creators, fashion houses, art creators, things like that. And Guinness Smooth is really looking to champion people like that who are doing great work in their community and co-create with them. So for us, this is step one. We're definitely looking down the line to be able to do that type of co-creation work and really put Ghanaians, put our consumers on the map, just like we're doing across Africa.
She also explains the brain behind the reintroduction of the beer and what it entails.
So Guinness Smooth, this is not the first time Guinness Smooth has been in the markets. We had Guinness Smooth in the market some years ago. But we've also done some work on the brand. We've reinvented it. We have rebranded it and made it represent more of what we're actually looking for in Africa. It's a lighter beer. It's an extension of the Guinness trademark. So everyone who knows Guinness Foreign Extra Stouts, which we call Guinness FES, the Guinness that everyone knows, is very popular. It's a growing brand. It's a brand that Ghanaians love. We know that. But we also know that there's some consumers who are looking for something more, something different, something lighter, something smoother. So Guinness Smooth was just reinvented to be able to fit that appeal. A younger, fresh, it's just a fresh, vibrant liquid that we expect will resonate with our consumers, and we expect that they'll really love it and enjoy it responsibly, of course.
The relaunch night was graced by performances from key entertainers and influencers.
Thanks so much for being part of this holidays edition of Business Life. I am Pius Kojo Baka, grateful for serving you.